the whole elect of Israel. Let us give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Kodash. Double honor to our elders and the apostles, great millstone. And peace and salutations to the whole elect of Israel. Fair use, fair use. I got a I'm gonna just go to it. A video I want to play because it's important to know what the lake of fire is, right? This is guy. Let me see who this guy actually is. I didn't check him out yet, so let me check him out right now before we continue. I watched about 7 minutes of his video. Let's see. 7 months, 6 months. So roughly within a year of learning, this guy has accumulated 2.2 thousand subscribers, 942 videos. So it has to be more. Let me see. Let's go here. Right. He's been doing this for a while. 900 something videos. Commend you on your diligence. Commend you on your diligence. Right. Yep, about the same number of years. A little bit more. 10 years. You've been 10 years at this. Are you a real Christian? You've been 10 years at this. So that makes sense. 900 something videos in 10 years. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna play this video he has going on, and we'll just take it from there. I'll go back to the beginning.
Back then, they served Yah, they served the priests in the temple. All right, guys. Lake.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
All right, guys.
There you go.
Lake of fire, real quick. This is going to be like a clickbait. Lake of fire, right? I want to show you guys in the scripture. There's many people who, they're not really too sure of what to do with the term lake of fire. And so we're not going to go into hell and, what happens to people when they die in this study, because we answered a whole bunch of questions once again, and I didn't have any self-control and to stop everybody. So we're going to go into just the term lake of fire, and we're going to kind of see it says here, this is the BWE, right? So we're going to see lake of fire. All right, let's see what we got here. So the term lake of fire is probably mentioned. It's mentioned 4 times. It's only mentioned 4 times in Revelation. So we're going to look at those 4 times. Revelation 19 verse 20, let me put it like this. Revelation 19 verse 20 says, "The beast was taken with the false prophet that did miracles in front of him, which deceived them that received the mark of the beast, and them that worship the image. These both were cast alive into the burnt lake of fire, burning with brimstone." Now remember, the 3 powers was the beast, the false prophet, and then it says, and the dragon. I want you to realize that the dragon is not mentioned in this lake of fire casting This is the first lake of fire casting. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war, and the beast was taken, and the false prophet, and they were thrown in the lake of fire.
See, I don't mean to interrupt, but there needs to be some understanding coming out, right? Who's the beast? What is the beast? Who's the false prophet? What is the false prophet? And who's the dragon, right? Who's the kings of the earth, as he has highlighted right here, right? In Revelation 19 and 19. Who are the kings of the earth and their armies, right? That's the EU, NATO, right? And Rome, the Romans also contributed to the beast, right? This beast system, going back to Esau Edom, the dragon, right? That old serpent, which you can get in Revelation 12 and 12. The false prophet is the Catholic Church. The false prophet, yeah, is the Catholic Church. They've gone around spewing lies, since their inception, deceiving the whole world with image that's not according to the scriptures. And this thing of the lake of fire, burning with brimstone, is a I don't want to say a metaphor, but it's similar to a metaphor, because it's not necessarily talking about like a lake of fire where people are going to just burn forever. It's talking about a thing that's going to happen here on earth. It's a vision that was given to John, looking from the chariots. Matter of fact, let's get that. All right, Revelation chapter 15. Let's open it up. This is John the Revelator having a vision from the heavens, actually from like from the not the court side, from the a skybox view and the chariots. Right, Revelation 15 and 1, it says, "And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as if it were a sea of glass," right? Like this guy just mentioned, right? In that other version of the Bible, they said a sea of fire, right? Well, it's a lake of fire is what it's described as, right? Right here it says in verse 2 again, "And I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. And they sang the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, God, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints." And not to go off subject, but I want to get a precept so you can understand what's being done right here, right? Again, verse 2, it says, "And I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High." This is the celebration. This is the celebration of the elect being crowned. Let's get that. Second Ezra chapter 2. We're going to jump down. right here in verse 44, it says, "So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal." Right? Because the mortal clothing, meaning that we have bodies that we can die. We have bodies that we can die in. We are wrapped in chains of darkness at this time, but the elect, when Yahweh shall return, is going to give the elect a new mind, new bodies, take away the terrestrial bodies and giving them celestial bodies, glorious bodies like his own, in a sense. All right, but it says, he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal. That's having eternal life, right? Those are the ones that's going to be able to follow the laws and statutes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to a T, without sinning anymore. It says, and have confessed the name of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now are they crowned and receive palms. All right. And it says, Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? And he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. All right, going back to Revelation. What was that? Revelation 15 and 2. You see, the scriptures go together, man. Line upon line, here a little and there a little. Yeah, what we doing? Sorry, I'll find another one. Yeah, Revelation 15 and 2. Again, it says, And I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory, right, that put off the immortal body and put on the immortal. The Lord said, put on as the elect. It say, and had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of the name of his name, which I mean stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High, singing songs to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, glorious songs. It say in Revelation, let me get it. Revelation 3. Yep. Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep you from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Okay. So the Lord is going to hold a ceremony for those that don't take the M.o.t.b, that don't take the Revelation 13 and 16. The Lord's going to have a celebration, a moment of honor, where he's going to crown the elect men of Israel. The tabernacle, the ruling class, the tabernacle of King David. Okay? And what I love most about what this guy's going into, well, not going into, but me pulling up on his page. Right, when I pull up on his page, don't do it. What up, brother Jabba? Don't do it. But if you could look at it.
The beast represents a kingdom. I know you guys, the kingdom.
It says 144 views. So when I clicked on it, it was 144 views. Call Halal Yahweh Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But anyway, going back to this guy, the lake of fire is going to be is America. What John the Revelator was seeing from an aerial point of view, looking into the chariots, looking into the celebration, the ceremony of the crowning ceremony of the elect of Israel, starting with the 144,000 being done by Yahweh Shai. They're looking down at the earth, and they're seeing a specific place, namely America, looking like a lake of fire. All right, looking like a lake is on fire. Okay, you're gonna have the rest of the earth as well, but it's gonna be this one specific spot that's gonna be utterly destroyed by way of nuclear missiles, and whatever isn't destroyed by nuclear missiles is gonna be consumed by the fire coming out of the chariots of the Heavenly Father. All right, I'm gonna let him explain a little bit more on what he's talking about, and we'll go from there.
And the rulers of the earth. The kingdom was taken, and it says the false prophet was a representation of the nation that was influential to tell everybody to worship the beast. Revelation 13. There was a,
and that's the Catholic Church. That's where it starts at. That's them pushing the narrative that there's going to be a rapture, and then Lord going to come, he going to save his, whatever, the true believers, so they say, right? And then for 7 years there's going to be torment and blah skippy woo woo, and then and then he going to come back again, I guess, right? Come back again and save the rest of whoever. Right, because that don't make no sense. That's not even doctrinally sound. The Lord said he didn't say he's coming back 3 times. He coming back one time and set everything in order. He's going to rescue. He's going to save the elect of Israel. They're going to be beamed up in the chariots, and then they're going to come down to establish dominion. There's not going to be 2 different salvations. It's going to be one salvation, the elect being changed, taking off the immortal, putting on the immortal, right? That's going to be the introduction into the second covenant, all right? Into the second covenant, right? Where there'll be no more death, but for who? Because he mentioned something. As a matter of fact, I want to go there. I want to let him keep on talking. I'll get to the 6 minutes, and then we're going to go into that and break that down.
Tell everybody to worship the beast. Revelation 13. There was a beast, and then there was another nation that told everyone to follow the beast. That's what a prophet does. A prophet tells everybody to follow their Elohim. So a false prophet tells everybody to follow false Elohim. So that's what was happening. The prophets are telling people to follow Yahushua. This false prophets are telling everybody to follow this beast. And so this beast, or this power and authority, and this influence are both moved out of the way. It doesn't say that the dragon was cast in. It doesn't say people was cast in. It says that this kingdom and this false kingdom was cast into the lake of fire. But how come these things are being cast in the lake of fire without the dragon? Right? That's one question I want to give you guys. The next one is in Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. It says here, the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. And it says, where the beast and the false prophet are. Shall be tormented day and night. We're going to look at that forever. Forever and ever.
All right. So, okay, to give him not even to cut him, but just to explain, because he just said, where's the dragon? How come the dragon wasn't cast into the lake of fire? Let's get it here. Let's get it here in Revelation chapter 12. Revelation 12. We're going to jump down to what? 4? No. 7? Nah. Okay, let's start at 7, right? Because he was talking about the angels, right? Well, the angels, the kings, and the angels going to be fighting. This is who they're going to be fighting against. Revelation 12 and 7, it says, and there was a war in heaven, right? In the outer realm of the earth, in the upper realm of the earth, I'll say, in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right? The dragon, Esau, Edom. right? Because all around the world, you got Esau, Edom, that pretty much controls plenty countries, especially with military power. You know, you got Russia, you got Europe, you got Britain, Britain, Europe, you got America, and you got all of their allies around the whole world, that got military forces that's going to be ganged together to fight against Slovakia. Sorry. To fight against Yahweh Shai and his angels. All right? The UFOs of the Lord going against airplanes, helicopters, and whatever aerial devices Esau Edom has made up. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael, right, as written in Daniel chapter 12, that Yahweh Bashmiah is going to descend, that Michael going to stand up, and that's pursuant to that First Thessalonians, where Yahweh Shai going to stand up. Matter of fact, before I continue, let me get that just to make sure the Lord shall descend. Yeah. First Thessalonians, yep. First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. And it says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel Michael, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Yahweh Shai Hamashiach shall rise first. Yeah, to put off the mortal body and to gain the immortal body, should be caught up with Yahweh Shai to receive the second covenant, right? And they're going to be Israelites and only Israelites. Revelation 12. Again, jumping down to verse 5, right? No, I was at 7, right? It says, and there was war in heaven, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven, right? Meaning they were no longer going to be on the top of the food chain, right? Esau, Edom, the dragon, let's get it. Right here in verse 9, it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, right? Called the devil and Satan, all right? These are all synonyms of individual spirit, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, right? That's an actual person here on the earth, the wicked, known as Esau Edom, the so-called what he deemed himself to be a white man, but he's actually a red man. His blood showed through his skin. It said, and that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, right? The deceiver, the accuser of the brethren, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Meaning they were brought down to a lower state. They about to go into captivity and they about to go down to slavery. The same thing that happened to the children of Israel. Let's get it. Let's get let's see. Here's cast down. Lamentations. Read the Lamentations 2. Lamentations 2. Let's go here. Lamentations 2. Because Israel was, we had a height in as far as ruling the world for a certain time, for 40 years under Solomon, right? Then we had Phil. What was that? Lamentations, chapter 2. All right. Yeah, verse 1, beautiful. God's anger over Israel. It said, how have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion? with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. You see that? Who so what? Was Israel in the sky? Right? Was Israel in the sky? And then we got cast down to the earth? No. It's talking about a position that we had as a people ruling the world, ruling the earth. Again, how have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remember not his footstool in the day of his anger. The same thing that happened to the devil, Esau, Edom. Just read, man. It's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan with the world, with the Catholic Church and the Roman Catholic Church tell you that it was the devil got, he got cast down to the earth or whatever. He came down here and started causing all type of ruckus. No. That's not what that means. Back in verse 9, it says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, the deceiver, and the deceiver, right? And the one that talks shit against the brethren, right? Esau, Edom, man, the fucking white man. It's a so-called white man, which deceived the whole world, was cast out unto the earth, and his angel was cast out with him." All right, the same thing that was done to the children of Israel because they were in a high stature. The Lord brought us low, and that's what happened to this devil. A precept just hit my mind. They say, "How art thou fallen?" Yeah, I should have got that other one. Let me get that one. Yeah. Isaiah 14:12. "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down from the ground, cut down to the ground, which dideth weaken the nations?" Now that word Lucifer just means light bearer. All right, that's not a necessary name. That's not the name for the spiritual demon Satan, as the world has taught us before. Now you have to understand that it's a lie. Lucifer just means light bearer. That means the one that's bringing the knowledge, the information that the world look at as if they're the rulers of the world at the time. That's what Lucifer means, light bearer. Everybody see through the light that they are casting. And Esau, Edom has cast a light of darkness. Right? I'm going to come back here. Let me get this precept. That Job. I think I want to get that Job. That's not what I'm looking for. I know. Job. Yep. The water, how about you, Shah? It says, "A land of darkness, as darkness itself, and a shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness." That's Esau, Edom. Everything around us is full of confusion. It's a shadow of death. We're sitting in the valley of death. America is known as the valley of death, the valley of the shadow of death, where the dry bones are going to wake up at. King David had made a song about it, talking about, "Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thou shalt not fear no evil." Let's get that. Because you had the truth of Yahweh Shema Shah, you ain't going to fear no evil. Right there. Yeah. Psalms 23:4. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." That's the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, his rod and his staff. That's what keeps us stable. The word of Yahweh Shema Shai, the fear of the Lord, the correction, his rod for correction, his staff is our stability, his word, all right? Being chastised, being corrected. And a wise man accepts correction. While a lot of these fools out here talking about our children, the children of Israel, 2/3 of our people are being foolish. They reject knowledge. They reject correction. And they're going to burn with this damn devil inside the lake of fire, which this guy's trying to get you to see, but he don't know what the fuck he talking about, evidently. But he got a lot of hits. He got a lot of hits. Let's go back. Where was I at? Salakia. Valley of darkness is light. How is thou falling? The water, yeah. Call on the y'all, but you know, I feel this. Don't do that. Okay, I hit it on accident. All right, this is the point I wanted to bring out. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, right? Light bearer, son of the morning, Esau Edom. How art thou cut down to the ground, which dideth weaken the nations? How did this? You see him going around weakening the nations right now. He went from country to country, land to land, robbing, stealing, pillaging, and producing through a lie, the deceiving the world that they were the chosen people of the Most High. Right? They even gave themselves the title white to make it seem as if they were pure. The Lord was with them. The Lord even say that. He said that they thought that it was altogether one is they self, one is them, one is they self. Let's get it. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Yep, Psalm 50. Beautiful. Psalm 50, verse 21, it says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Yeah. He weakened the nations. He destroyed every nation. That was his blessing. Esau Edom blessing was the sword to go and to gain control of the world through violence, through destruction. He's the vessel of destruction, the vessel of wrath. He played his part, and now his time has come to an end. Again, it says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, right? But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. Who's he setting in order? The children of Israel, starting with the 144,000, starting with the men, sighing and crying for the abomination that be done in this place, you know, aka America, which is going to be aka the lake of fire. Right? It said, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thy face. Now consider this, ye that forget the Most High, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. All right? Yeah, because they thought the Lord was on their side. They thought that the Lord, you know, forgot everything that they did. The Lord was just, you know, had their back. The Lord's going to let them get away with what they was doing, destroying the whole world. Again, back at Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the earth? Luciferians, right? What they call them? The light. What they call them? The Illuminati, right? They've been found out who they are. The upper echelon of Esau Edom, starting with them big noses, the small hats. It said, how art thou cut down to the ground? How you been weakened? How you been found out? Why are these nations coming up against you all of a sudden? Which did it weaken the nations? America weakened the nations, right? Starting with the atomic bomb, then threatening everybody. You know, hey, our technology is higher than y'all, so y'all gonna bow down and give us what we want. There ain't no peace treaty. Y'all do what we say. We'll make an agreement here and there, depending on whatever. But y'all act funny if y'all want to. Remember what happened to Japan. right? Remember what happened to Okasawa and Nakasawa? You know what it. You know what it is. It's late right now. It's a for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And as soon as they did that, what happened in the 60s? Since they said, they put a lie out there as if they were, landing on the moon, right? But when they started setting up some space stations in the sky, that's when they started coming down. The Lord said that in Obadiah. Let's get that. Let's get that in Obadiah. So you got to get the whole understanding of why this place is about to be called the lake of fire. Let's say Obadiah. I'm gonna jump down a verse. I can start there. That's perfect. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 1. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1 says, the vision of Obadiah, Edom will be humbled. Y'all get that? Edom is being humbled right now. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus says the Lord God, concerning Edom, the so-called white man, as he dubbed himself. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right. America is greatly despised right now amongst all the heathen nations. America is one of the most despised nations. Even all his allies. I seen a brother do another lesson earlier about talking about how all the other, heathen nations or even Edom nations, they're against America right now. It says, verse 3, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? And though thou hast set thy nest among the stars, right? In the 60s, this will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right? So the Lord is bringing them down. Go to verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Let's see this. How many nations have turned on America? I should have put a that bitch said. That bitch say no. I gotta be specific. In the past, I'll say 2 years. 2 years. I should say 1 year. Shit, because this year alone, no specific number of nations have officially turned on America in the past 2 years. Late 2023, late 2025. Because nations don't formally declare such shifts, but key adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and Cuba remain consistently hostile, while some allies have shown strains. Turkey, Hungary, or shifts. Some Middle Eastern nations pivoting to BRICS. You know what the BRICS is, right? Right? It says, due to involving global dynamics, but not a mass turning by many. Okay, play view on 1, 2. Key adversaries ongoing. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, Middle East, which is Western Asia. It's a Turkey and Global South. See, these are guys that were all in league with America for a certain time. Or at least they had offers on the table. But now they're turning their back. They're turning their back. I'll get one more precept, and then I'm going to go back to what this guy was talking about. I think I believe it's in Jeremiah 50. Matter of fact, I should just go to Jeremiah 50. Let's go there. Jeremiah chapter 50. Yeah. Jeremiah chapter 50. And I'm going to jump down to verse 3. It says, "For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her." Matter of fact, let's get it, the whole context. This is a prophecy of America. It says, "The word that the Lord spake against Babylon," nowadays known as America, "and against the land of the Chaldeans," which means just the wise ones of the world right now, which is, supposedly the light bearers, right? Esau, Edom, right? It says by Jeremiah the prophet. Verse 2, "Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, publish, and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast." Right? It said, "In those days and in that time, said the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten." Yes, that's the second covenant. That's what's happening right now in the face of the whole world. The children of Israel is crying and sighing to Yahweh Shem Shai for salvation, to be saved. The true believers of Yahweh Shem Shai, the children of Israel, the elect of Israel, nobody else. It say, verse 5, "They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward." I said this already. Going down to verse 6, it says, "My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, We offend not." Right? They don't take no accountability, especially Esau, Edom. All the things that they've done to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, and the rest of the speckled bird, they know that their bloodline go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through the seed of their father, right? They know what they've done to our people, how they, stripped us of our families. They stripped us of our dignity. They shake the head. They wagged their hand. They pointed at us. They called us out of our names. They made sure that the name of Israel be no more in the world, in the earth. They were all a part of it. And the majority of them people are right here in America. Babylon, the Great. Again, verse 7, it says, "All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord." Right? Right, like we just read in Psalms, right? They thought that the Lord was altogether one with themselves, right? With them. The Lord said, "No, I'm gonna reprove you, and I'm gonna set my people in order." And that's what's happening. He say, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he goats before the flocks. That's the Lord calling the 144,000. Calling us, Lord, wouldn't we be a part of that elect number, to do the will of Yahweh Shema Shah, to be as he goats, to God, to bring the elect out of the punishment that's about to happen here in Babylon. through the word of Yahweh Shem Shah, the Yahweh Shem Shah is gathering the elect. Verse 9, it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So those arrows are talking about nuclear missiles, ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBM missiles, right, from the other heathen nations that were once cool with America, and all that, supposedly, right? It says, again, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations." We just gave you a list of some of those nations from the north, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, those nuclear missiles with the fire and brimstone inside them, shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be spoiled. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Right. It said, right, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Yeah. They even went over there into the land of Israel and destroyed it. Who is America trying to take up for right now? Trump. Who they trying to take up for? Them small hats. Who they trying to who they supplying? Who are they financially supplying? Militarily supplying? The small hats. It say, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bore you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. And that's America. The hindermost of the nations. America's the last nation that came up that we know of, unless y'all know any other nation that came up to be a superpower over the whole world. Verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, and ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. Because the nations, the protection of America is all over the place. All over the place. All over the other parts of the world. And over here, you got people rapidly losing their faith and fighting for something that's not fighting for them anymore. You're taking away all the comforts of America from all of its citizens. So why would the people feel comfortable putting their lives on the line? Now you about to start asking for your citizens to give up their most precious prized possession, their sons and their daughters, to fight for this country. We'll see how good that ends up. It says, shoot at her round about, and she have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she have done, do unto her. You keep on going. And the Lord just showing how much he got against this land, against the people here in Babylon, aka America, Babylon the Great. And them nuclear missiles gonna hit, and this is what it's gonna look like. All right. Revelation 20:7, it says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. Yep, that devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. Right? Esau, Edom, this system, the beast system, the Babylonian system, has pretty much been headed over here by America. Because everybody going to be standing off like, damn, ooh, look what happened to that, to the Babylon is falling, Babylon is falling. What happened to that great city? And they went up, and they went, I was at verse 10, it said, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire, and fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever, until they are completely destroyed. Let's go here to Daniel. I'll probably close y'all on that. I'm going to have this guy probably come back in and see what he got to say. Daniel chapter 7. It's like, yeah. This is Yahushua getting the dominion. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9, it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, right? As he had brought up earlier, the kings, right? The kings of the world, you know, these other heathen nations. I just told you, EU and NATO, you know. It said, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even to the beast was slain. This beast system was slain and cast in the lake of fire, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame, right? The lake of fire. In verse 12 it says, as concerning the rest of the beasts, right? Those other heathen nations, right? You know, the EU, the European Union, you know, the other heathen nations, you know, parts of Russia and, you know, Ukraine, or whoever is not bombed completely to hell from the missiles that, you know, was set out, right? The rest of the beast system, concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season of time, for 1,000 years, to be whipped into submission and to put the earth back right, to set up the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in righteousness. In verse 13 it says, I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man, came with the clouds of heaven, those chariots, right? And it say, came with the clouds of heaven, and came with the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. That's the land, that the world of Israel, you know, through Yahweh Shemashah being established in the world. You know, Isaiah 45 and 17. Right? Let me get it just to make sure. Isaiah 45. Right. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. And it's gonna be no more. It's gonna be no more. After those after those mortal bodies be turned into immortal bodies, starting with the elect of Israel, because 2/3 of our people gonna be rubbed out here too. 2/3 of our people gonna be going to the lake of fire too. Zechariah chapter 13. Let's go there. Zechariah 13. Yeah. Where is it at? Yeah, right here. Right here. Zechariah 13:7, it says, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, 2/3 of Israel. Saith the Lord of hosts, smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn mine hand upon the little ones." The Lord's going to save his elect, the remnant of Israel. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire." They're going to be rescued. Lord willing, we be a part of that elect number. The elect of Israel, the remnant, they're going to be rescued. It said, "And I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, is my power, is our God." Let me see what else this guy got to say. Because if you don't understand what the lake of fire is right now, the missiles coming over here, blowing up everything, the philosophies, the thoughts of Esau, Edom, this devil, and, this false prophet, the Catholic Church, and, all their belief system, all that stuff is going to be burned up, destroyed forever. Right? This is the place. Let's get it before I close it out. What's that? Revelation 11. Revelation 11. Verse 4. Revelation 11. I'm going to jump down to verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." That's here in America. America is not only known as spiritual Babylon the Great, is also known as Sodom and Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. Because they destroyed the whole essence of who our Lord really is. They lied about him. They lied on him. Right? The Catholic Church went around the whole world. The false prophet went around the whole world, deceiving many. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to hear what else this guy got to say. I didn't even get a chance to get to the 6 minutes, but hey, I'll see what he got to say.
We're going to look at this, right? Lake of fire. Now the dragon is cast in at the very end. But not only is the dragon cast in, it says here, look at this. Death and hell are cast into the lake of fire. So you have the beast, you have the false prophet, you have death, and then you have hell. These are not actual beings. These are not things. These are ideas. These are realities.
Who's known as death and hell? Let's get that in Habakkuk. That proud man, Esau, Edom. Didn't it say in Obadiah his pride has deceived him? If I remember correctly, it said his pride has deceived him, right? Obadiah. But people are not going to... Yeah, verse 3. "The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. No, verse 4 says, "Behold, His soul which is lifted up in him, which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, right? The wine of Babylon. Y'all, we gotta go there to the verse in Revelation where it say about the wine of Babylon had made all the nations drunk. Anyway, it said he transgressed by wine. He made everybody sip of this cup of this belief system, right? This so-called democracy, this beast system, right? You do what you want to do, be what you want to be, obey your thirst. You could believe, you could trust in whatever God you could create, whatever you could think of. Be your own God, right? It say, who enlarged, he is a proud man, right? Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Babylon, the land of confusion. Ain't that what they did, or what Nimrod did back in the day? So Esau, Edom trying to take on the characteristics of Nimrod. Bring everybody together to be under one banner for a big orgy. A spiritual orgy, an actual physical orgy, whatever it takes to defy the power of Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. But, you know, being so high on their high horse, the Lord want to bring them down. As we just read, into that fire, that lake of fire. I don't think I want to hear any more of this guy.
Death is a reality. The grave is a reality. The kingdoms of the earth are realities of authority, but these authorities are going to be taken away. You know why? Because it says here, all the dead, all the wicked dead, right, were judged according to their works. There was no king, there was no prince, no ruler. Everybody was on the same playing field. There was no law, no kingdom, no leaders of any kingdom, no governments, no presidents, none of that stuff. All of that.
He don't have no idea what he's talking about. Slakia, I mean, if you want to go through this video and check it out for yourself, y'all can. But I just had to, I guess, you know, to experience power, how much was on me to do a lesson real quick. And I hope y'all have a better understanding of what the lake of fire is, what the actual lake of fire is. Maybe I'll just listen to the rest of this. And if I got to do a part 2, I'll do a part 2. But just based on what I heard, this the Spirit gave me. So with that, I hope this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. You know, endure. We almost home. You know, this place is almost destroyed. You know, people are starting to talk about the Bible more than they ever have before. And some people are being false pastors, preachers, teachers, and they don't know what they're talking about. And they're going to deceive many into believing some bullshit. But, you know, the elect is not going to be deceived. Anyway, with that, I'm going to close out, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Rachak Kodash, double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Again, till next time, to the hopeful elect, Shalom, Wa Abba Babal.